Ule wakati uliosubiriwa sasa umewadia, wakati ambao nakwenda kushuhudia mbungi ya kimataifa. Mechi ya pili kwa kila timu, Azam FC dhidi ya Wydad Casablanca. Sise Puede ndio kitu ambacho Azam FC wametuletea hivi sasa, wakiamini kwamba wanaweza kufanya chochote bora dhidi ya mpinzani mgumu. Wanamume 22 wote wamejipanga kwenye mstari mmoja, wakisubiri dakika 90 tu kuruhusu mchezo huu kuanza, kiwa sambamba na seti ya waamuzi, lakini Wydad ukiongozwa na nahodha wao Nordin Amrabat.
They so want to see top quality football as well. Let's see how they get on today as the Confederation of African Football's anthem rings out. The teams come out onto the pitch. The home side, JS Kabylie of Algeria on the right of your screen. The Young Africans of Tanzania on the left. Kabylie looking to bounce back and win their first points of the campaign. Yanga already secured their first 3 points and looking to double up on match day 2. Well, you can see just what an impressive arena this is. Fantastic home for Kabylie, built by the Algerian government. No running track, the sound stays in. So a terrific atmosphere, and one which will only get better with the passionate local fans. As we see the lineups, Zimbabwe has made 4 changes to the side, beaten 4-1 in Cairo last weekend by Al Ali. Coming into the side, Madani, Hamidi, both in defence. Riyad Boudabous, the attacking midfielder and captain, of course, and Iben Mahyous, missing last week, and he had a good scoring record in the Champions League last campaign. I'm sure he'll be itching to impress today. The Nigerian flag just being handed over. These are the match officials. Hiwalal of Mauritius, the man in the middle today, as you can see, supported by one of his compatriots and a couple of officials from the Seychelles as well. excellent job. Very animated as the captain of Young Africans. He's up alongside Boudabous for the pre-match preliminaries. So as for Yanga, well, content with the 1-goal victory against Morocco's AS FAR. Their coach Pedro Goncalves has named an unchanged side to the one that got that win last weekend, Prince Dube. And there's number 10, 29 up top, the Zimbabwean. He's the man who got the goal last week. And also in goal, Jiggy Jara, hugely experienced Malian international. And it's a pretty experienced backline as well for Tanzania, the likes of Hussein Job and Ibrahim Baka Hamad, all regulars in the Tanzania national team. Not Zimbabwe, that is Pedro Goncalves, the former Angola coach. Fantastic graphics, not quite keeping up with the pictures. Well, as good an atmosphere as you're likely to find anywhere on the continent. Provides a wonderful backdrop to a game which is now underway. JS Kabylie playing from right to left in yellow and green, and the Young Africans of Tanzania in a brown strip from left to right. Whistles instantly coming out for Young Africans' first touches on the ball. As you can imagine, a hostile environment is exactly what the fans here want to get across. It looks a lovely surface. Zinedine Belaid, Kabylie's central defensive duo, alongside this man who's just come into the side today, Mohamed Madani. Been in very good form, 4 appearances in the tournament so far, 4 clean sheets for Yanga's goalkeeper. He missed the one game in which the Tanzanians conceded. Then round 1 of the competition they were comfortable 5-0 winners against Angola's Wiliete. In the second round it was a bit closer against Malawian's Silva striker, winning 2-1 on aggregate. 1-0 away, but doing the job at home. A couple of goals to nil. And then, of course, the victory against AS FAR, Royal Armed Forces. Yanga, a really good start to what looks a difficult group, because it's not just these two, of course. There is the small matter of the record, 12-time African champions at Al Ali. And also former winners of African's elite club competition in the shape of AS FAR. Kabylie, one of the tougher seeds from Pot 4, the weakest one. And AS FAR, well, quarter-finalists last season. And Yanga, well, they were quarter-finalists the season before, and that is what they are hoping to at least emulate, and of course go a step further. As for Kabylie, well, they were also very comfortable winners in the opening round of this competition, beating Ghana's Bibiani Gold Stars 7-0 on aggregate. They then met fellow North African opposition in round 2, taking on US Monastir of Tunisia. 5-1 it was there. So they've got 13 goals from their 5 games so far. How will they fare today? Just conceding a throw in. Mohamed Hussein. Such an experienced figure in Tanzania football. Will take down the line it goes. Nicely forward and alert play as well. Jara comfortably gathering. Whistles coming out. There's Yanga build. Nice little first touch in for a bit of space. Important challenge coming in, but not clean in the eyes of the official. I think it was Lalu Akhrib for Kabylie. It was indeed. You can see he took the ball. Just a little touch from Maxi Nzengeli. In came Akhrib. It all looked pretty fair, but the decision has gone the way of the opponents, to the dismay of those at home. Mohamed Idir Hadid, the young goalkeeper for Kabylie, just trying to sort out his wall. There he is, had the misfortune of scoring an own goal last weekend. Did Hadid, right in the closing minutes in a fairly extraordinary game, in that Al Ali also scored an own goal, their goalkeeper too, Mohamed El Shanawi. It's not every game where you see a goalkeeper score an own goal, and it's even fewer where both do so. So it looks like Celestin Ekwa, number 11, could be the man most interested in this. Straight at goal, and Hadid gets his body behind it, pushes it away. Not too convincing a save, but did exactly what he had to do. Shot on the target, at least in the opening 10 minutes of the game from Ekwa's free kick. Israel Wenda. It's a good, lively start. Zimbabwe, the Kabylie coach, saying just before kick-off, we're prepared, we're at home, we've got fantastic supporters. We're facing a good opponent. As we see, maybe just shoveling that effort from Ekwa away. We have to win. As for Pedro Gonçalves, well, he singled in out the atmosphere. We expect a great atmosphere, and hopefully a great advert for African football. Also very complimentary about the opponents today, saying that he wants to put his ideas on the pitch, and it'll be really interesting to see how he gets on. The man who left the Angola role 2 months ago after such a long and lengthy spell for the Portuguese in charge of the Blancas Negras. You would have thought that so close to the Africa Cup of Nations, which obviously gets underway within the month, Angola may have held on to him, but no, he paid the price for a poor African Nations Championship, did Gonçalves. for Angola's failure to do better in World Cup qualifying. He did, of course, though, during his reign, have a very successful time. Back-to-back CASAFA trophies. It's the tournament for teams in Southern Africa. This is nice football from Kabylie. And he also, Pedro Gonçalves, got Angola further in the Africa Cup of Nations than ever before. To the middle it goes. Cut away as they reached the quarter-finals. They had got to the quarter-finals twice before, but never when the tournament was expanded, which meant that in the old days, 2008, 2010, when they got there, they just had to emerge in the top two of the group to get to the quarter-finals. But in Côte d'Ivoire or Ivory Coast last year, with the expansion of the tournament in recent years, Angola won their first ever knockout game, round of 16, to get into the quarter-finals. Offside flag goes up, but a nice idea, playing it out to the flanks. You can see what's in power, and the coaching staff for Kabylie think of that. Good technique on the volley. Let's have a look. Just a smidge offside, probably. 55 years of age, Zimbabwe. Right at the start of the year in January. Julie took Kabylie into the top two of the Algerian league, and therefore into this competition. Madani into Mehdi Moja. Babacar Sarr keeps it alive in the midfield. Moja. Well, they're playing some nice football, Kabylie. Just as I said, that little overhit, but just for a moment it looked as though it might be kept alive. The only shot on target in the opening exchanges of this second game in the group for both these sides. Oh, you can see that they love playing on this surface, Kabylie, just knocking the ball around at ease, with pace and quickly. Ekwa at the other end, trying to give the hosts something to think about. Striker goal, volleyed wide. But that was the sighter. It just sat up very, very nicely. Ekwa with the driving run into the area. And then it fell for Mudatir Yaya. Mudatir just slashing at it, but nonetheless, a second sighter on the Kabylie goal from the visitors. Will be encouraged by the start and getting in behind. It looks like it could be an open game, but we shall see. We're just barging into Hamidi, who's back in the side, having missed out last week with injury. Decent job, the Tanzanian skipper, taking no chances whatsoever with that. Back to Jara. Hussein, Simba last season, Yanga's great rivals. Captained them for quite a while and then made the move. He knows what it's like to lead out his side in a Confederation Cup final. Mohamed Hussein, a left back for Young Africans, having done so just in May. And Simba followed Yanga in reaching the Confederation Cup final. Yanga the first side from Tanzania ever to do so in 2023 in Simba, emulating them just a couple of years later. They lost as well, of course. With yet another Confederation Cup. Into the middle it goes and cleared away at the first time of asking. So far they've not had anything too tricky to deal with at the back, the young Africans. Back line. Indeed. It's Madani. Nigerian international to come forward. It's nicely played, out of trouble as well. Isra down the line. A little push in the back end, and it didn't seem the heaviest contact on Budatir. In the eyes of the man in the middle, there was enough. Mohamed Madani. To get in the face of his opponents, does the 32-year-old Madani. Gonçalves really showed what he was about during his lengthy reign in Angola. Really fascinating to see how he gets on with young Africans, because despite the fact that Pedro Gonçalves has been on the continent for such a long time, this is his first experience of African inter-club football, and he might be watching his side go a goal down. Akhrib, excellent defending at the back. Well, what covering that was from Ibrahim Hamad. He had a lot of ground to cover up, the 28-year-old, and he was very clear with his challenge as well. The slip was costly at the back, and that meant that the defence was stretched. Hamad did exactly what he had to do. Block the cross. No contact on the player. Kabylie have their first corner of the game, which Mehdi Mergem swings in. Oh, excellent header against the crossbar. And Jarrett comfortably gathers. Well, it looks like Zinedine Belaid was the player who met it terrifically well. Just could not get over it enough, because Jara in the Yanga goal was beaten. Hamidi back into Madani. Moja, the man who just sits in front of the defence at the base of the midfield. Mehdi Moja brings considerable European experience. That's vital interception there to break it up. As Kabylie came forward looking good. Dube with a little touch. And under a spot of pressure, trying to counter. Nicely forward from Pakon Zuzua. Into the middle it goes, and the little deflection took it into the path of Hadid. Yanga showing really good intent in this opening quarter of the game. Both sides showing absolutely no hesitation in trying to get forward as quickly as they can. Hamidi, Akhrib. He's got 4 goals in the competition so far, the winger. And here he is, spreading it out wide to the left back, Hamidi. Another good bit of defending at the back from Job, doing his job. What a change of boots, as you may be able to see on your screen in the middle. Gloves coming on as well. Akrib into the middle it goes and job away. Well, here it is. What a header it was. The closest we've come to a goal by quite a long way. Nicely forward and in behind, and Yanga here could open the scoring. They can't though, because that is a tame effort. Just when it looked as though it was the most inviting of opportunities for Ekwa, well, he simply couldn't take it. That was powder puff stuff from the Chad international. How costly will it be as instantly Mergem at the other end for Kabylie, deep cross in, and it's just drifts behind the goal line to his dismay. You can see he just got him miles behind Hamidi, who had pushed high. Ekwa working it onto his favoured left. And that face and expression tells its own story about how he met it and the contact he got. Going on to Prince Dube, who cannot gather. Akrib. Matthews just heavy. The apology comes as well. Still finding a bit of space here, Ekwa. 23 years of age, the winger. Into the middle it goes. First real chance for Dube. And he didn't waste much time in having a shot as well either. Pretty ambitious with the outside of his boot. Ekwa, no wonder he's smiling, because he's been given a ton of room. Mohamed Reda Hamidi down that right-hand flank. I'm sure that's something that Zimbabwe, the Kabylie coach, will be looking to tighten up. They're pressing and snapping well, Yanga. So far they are holding their own on. It's a tricky tie on paper. Zuzua will leave it. The Ivorian. Yanga make 10 yards or so down that left-hand side. Mohamed Hussein. Trying to play it in towards Zuzua. Israel. Zuzua forward. And back when he had a little bit of space to go into, chose not to do so. Kabylie just playing it back in. You see Zengeli. After a good movement from Yanga. Not admiring the passes, but just moving when they come. And Zengeli, just a heavy touch. And they've done really well to get into the final third, Yanga. The encouragement goes on. Mahyus in the middle. Akrib getting in as well. In comes the cross. There is the header. Straight at Jara. Well, it was good football from the home side once again. Good delivery. And met well in the air by Mahyus as well. The worst header by any stretch of the imagination, but just too close to Djigui Diarra. Strike from Ekwa. And Ekwa straight at Hadid. Well, that's 4 strikes now that Chad international has had. Looking for his first goal in the Champions League campaign, and it was only his 2nd appearance so far of the season. Celestin Ekwa. And it was with ASEC Mimosas in Ivory Coast last year. Nice little drift inside. This looks, I was going to say promising, but a heavy touch in the end from Boudebouz. There's a few whistles and groans from the home fans. They want to see possibly a little bit more bite from their side. Yanga doing absolutely what they need to do. Snapping, pressing. Defensively solid so far as well. Saab into Boudebouz, round the corner. Ahreeb! Well, the flag was up, it wouldn't have counted, but he ghosted in behind. And the goal was gaping and at his mercy for young Alalu Ahreeb, the 20-year-old. Well, you can see he was a country mile offside. They're beginning to get a little bit closer. And as you can see, an item being removed by the referee. We can only assume that has been thrown onto the pitch. Here's the cross again. And Mahyus' header. Neshat, Fares Neshat with the delivery. Going backwards a little bit, which made it harder for Ayman Mahyus. With Sia Belouizdad last season. 3 goals in the group stages for the Algerian side, including one against Al Ali. And even though he's got a couple of goals in the league, 4 in all since joining in July on a 3-year deal, Mahyus, he's yet to find his first for them in the top tier of African club football. 2 assists so far for Mahyus. To keep Djigui Diarra alert. So some composed finishing down the years, Mahyus. Certainly have some memories of Al Ali from last season. They might be better than last week's defeat in Cairo, because after the Egyptian side inflicted a thumping 6-1 defeat on Belouizdad last year in the group stage. Well, Belouizdad then went and beat Al Ali, so ending a remarkably long unbeaten run in the Champions League. He's got to be a little bit careful there, Mohamed Hussein, with the pushing. Boudebouz, nice footwork. Mahyus. He wants the corner, and so do the fans. Goal kick, the decision. Ibrahim Ahmad, very comfortably leaving it out. Mahyus still arguing the case. Job looking long to Ekwa. Hamidi with the header. Sa. Senegalese against a side that he will know well, because he previously did Sa for Simba in Tanzania. Isra. Zuzua. Another decision going against us, the Kabylie players and fans will see it, the Algerian side. Forward it goes, good first touch from Dubé. Into the middle, it's just not got enough on it. Well, he was looking for Mudatir. He just needed to put his foot a little bit heavier on that pass. And Mudatir may well have been in. That's loose at the back. Yanga again come forward and they cannot keep the strike down. And it's Mudatir again. Well, there has certainly been chances in this opening period. And Mudatir has had two. A volley on his right foot, a volley on his left. Take a funny bounce, is that what he's going to argue? Either way, he was pretty much a carbon copy of his first effort, except it was in reverse. Right-footed slash drifting away first time, and then a left-footed version just now. Kabylie caught a little bit napping at the back. And Yanga look in the mood to profit if they can. Madani. Belaid. Dispossessed again. High pressing from Yanga. Really working them well. Zuzua. Space for Zuzua. And Zuzua, well, he couldn't get it out under his feet, and that's going to be a goal kick to Kabylie as well. It was nice approach play once again. And it all came after dispossessing Kabylie in the middle of the park. Really good defensive play from Bujema. Kabylie free kick. So just caught by Jukabuya. In behind, and as you can clearly see on your screen, the offside flag up as well. I can only imagine what the Kabylie fans will sound like if they've got a goal to celebrate. Not so far. It has been tight. It has been pretty even. Kabylie with fewer chances, but the better ones when heading against the crossbar. And Matthews forcing Jiggy Jara into action. Yanga more chances, but less concern for Mohamed Idia Hadid in their goal. Hamad. Zuzua. It'll turn away. Gets it back in a bit of space as well. Ekwa. He's got Isra overlapping if he wants to use him. Eventually it does come the right back's way. Ekwa again. Needed more elevation. Isra in behind again. First time cross delivery, up goes Dubé. And Hadid punches away. Zuzua can profit. And Kabylie can counter. Roared on by their supporters. That'll check the momentum. Free kick for the challenge on Merguer. Boudebouz dropped deep, getting on in years now, 35. Boudebouz, chance at goal. Well, it fell nicely for Mergem. A little deflection. The technique was hard. He just never really got over it. Here's the good punch away by Hadid. Dube sniffing. Zuzua unable to profit. And then at the other end, well, that's the same incident. Mergem it was, he just couldn't get his volley correct. He's got a few goals already, Mehdi Mergem, that winger. 3 so far in the campaign. Handful of players in this Kabylie side, Mergem, who is representing Algeria at the African Nations Championship, or CHAN, in July. Hamidi. There's confident play from Kabylie, but will they get caught again? Because they have been on occasions. They're still going on this occasion. By the seat of your pants football from Kabylie, but they've made it forward, prepared to try and pass their way through. Yanga, decision for the referee, and he's given the corner. Israel, as you can see, attempt to play the ball and then ultimately forcing it behind the line. Dahri just simply did not give up. Well, they came the closest to scoring from a similar situation. Mergem, in it goes. Near post again on this occasion. There is no Kabylie head. Neshat. Ujama. Switching flanks. Fares, Neshat, another in the CHAN side. Just unable to break down the Yanga defence for now. Akri popped up now on the right-hand side. He started the game on the left wing. I'm sure he may drift back into there. Crossed in, headed away. Heavy touch there, but Mudatir. Well, there was a challenge late in on Hakrib. Prince Dube certainly doesn't think he did anything wrong. And he got a touch, and then Hakrib just went down after. You can understand why the Zimbabwean is unhappy with the decision. Either way, Boudebouz in the transfer window pre-season. He's going to be standing over it. Considered a top talent earlier in his career, Boudebouz hasn't quite hit the heights, but he's certainly still got the ball-playing abilities. Goes deep and flat, and heading to the middle it goes, and it's a really important clearance as well, because the header back in was pretty much where it needed to be, into the mixer. No one there, no one gambling, just a Yanga boot. When Yanga beat AS FAR last week, it was their first ever victory in an opening match of a group phase. The question is, can they build on it? Sarr on the spin, and Sarr forces a really good save from Jara. Well, he had to be at his very best there, the Malian, in the goal for Yanga, because Sarr, who knows where the goal is, having scored a couple already in this campaign, he did not hesitate as he got his shot away on the turn, and that's a good solid right hand from Jara. Corner taken quickly on the volley, he just didn't connect. The forlorn look of sorts towards the official, hoping for more. Well, his clean sheet record is still intact, Jara. Over 70 caps for his West African nation. He may not be the tallest, but he's very agile, very cat-like in his reflexes, a really good shot stopper, Jara. And he'll be certainly hoping that Mali can deliver in next month's Africa Cup of Nations when they're in a group with Zambia, Comoros. Perhaps worryingly for all the other three sides, the host nation Morocco. Not just host, but Africa's top-rated side as well, and bursting with confidence on home soil. Whoever beats Morocco is possibly going to go all the way in the competition, should anybody beat the Alice Lions. Possibly going to go all the way in the competition, should anybody beat the Alice Lions. It's going to be an absolutely fascinating competition. Tanzania 2, Hamidi. Winning the free kick. That's again that Yanga player feeling that he got enough on the ball. Well, here's that volley of sorts. I mean, it really wasn't much from Matthews. Seemed to be more interested in the afters than the actual volley. Well, that you can see why. There was a little shirt tug coming in on him. Moja, I think it was. Again, with the delivery. And some decent crosses from this sort of situation already. Again, deeper this time. Jara comes and misses. It's still clear, and it's still not clear for Yanga. And eventually, after a little bit of pinball, after Jiggy Jara came and very much missed, they get it away. Mudatir. Kabylie have got numbers back, because for a moment they were outnumbered at the back by Yanga. Job. He partners this man, Hamad, at the back for Tanzania at an international level. Zua, Mudatir. Down the left-hand side they go, Dube. The whistles increase as the possession continues. The whistles possibly do their job. That's nicely played by Zengali. Good feet to get the ball to Mudatir. Here he is again, Mudatir. He's had a couple of volleys that have gone nowhere, and he just ran out of energy in the end. Kabylie go long and instantly cleared away. Yanga ceding possession. Boudabou's trying to get his side moving before the break. That's experienced defending. Afri trying to go one way and then the other. The 20-year-old just ran into the Yanga centre-back. This is not Jara's finest moment. The strike coming in from Akhrib. But not the sort of goalkeeping you would like to see again, the flapping Jara. Well, it is nice to see stadiums being built in Africa without running tracks. In the old days, you could understand why it happened to enable these stadiums to host more than just football, but athletics as well, of course. But we're beginning to see just some very much more purpose-built football stadiums on the continent, thinking of the one in Dakar, the Senegalese capital, this one here as well, without the running tracks, only increasing the intensity. Entirely happy about the way in which things are working, giving the download to Bujama. Spent a year in Europe, did Bujama, before making his first move to an African club in January. Amongst the teams he played for, Hattiespoor, where he was caught up in the dreadful 2023 earthquake that killed a wonderful Ghanaian footballer, Christian Achu. Will the words make a difference with the tactic board? It's a good run out and work out from Kabylie's coach. Lots to discuss as we see the treatment going on. The Yanga goalkeeper. They would not want to lose him. And here's his save of the game. Look at that full stretch. His 5'10" frame to deny Sa. Scored in both round 1 and round 2. And he's quite experienced on the continent, Zimbabwe. He had Orlando Pirates for a couple of years, not so long ago. Had a short stint at Raja in Morocco, Raja Casablanca, where he won the double with a record points tally and went through the season unbeaten for the first time ever. There off to Saudi Arabia he went as that nation ploughed in millions of dollars into his football, but he left a year ago, Zimbabwe, after a row with the club's directors. And a couple of months later he was here in Algeria. There's the header from Belaid, so unlucky, and then once again the aerial route providing a good opportunity on goal. Jara equal to it. At the other end, well, they've not been as clear-cut chances, and they certainly started with more of them. That's a really good effort from Babacar Sarr. Useful to have a defensive midfielder who can pop up and score and swivel and shoot like that. Just 2 more of the additional 4 minutes at the end of what has been a really lively half. It certainly has not been a game of caution. Both sides are absolutely going for it, no holding back. Attack very much their main focus, which makes for a fine game to enjoy. Be really interesting to see which way this goes in the second period, and who, if anyone, can make the breakthrough. Lovely skills from Boudabous. Hamidi, options in front of him, just checks back onto his right. He does often play at right back, but filling in at left at present. Indeed, a little bit loose, but they still pick it up. Neshat. sure the Algerians have to ask questions of the Tanzanian side if they are to make any headway. Just 20 seconds or so of the half left. It might be the visitors who go in happier, but for what may happen in the next 10 seconds or so, this has been an area where they've profited from the flanks. Kabylie, in it goes. Oh, it's offside flag once again. And Kharib having gone a fraction too early. Or did he? From that angle, there really isn't much in it at all, and possibly unfairly penalised. Nonetheless, still pretty academic for now. I'm pretty sure this will get booted high into the sky. And the referee, surely, about to blow the half-time whistle. Not for now. Mudatir playing it in, playing it forward. Hadid comes out to gather. Towards the 5 minutes of additional time in a half that didn't really have too many stoppages. Hadid goes forward. Hughes cannot win the header. Unclear how much longer we'll be playing. Only Hiralal knows that. Hadid careless. And that's a real